Hi, in today's video I want to talk about what I call self-change projects. Whenever I decide I want to change something in my life, there are several ways that I can go about doing this. One thing I could try is that I would just simply make a list of all the things that I want to do different, and in that way create a list of things that I want to change, and I can just go out and just try to implement all of those things at the same time. On the other hand, I can also be a little bit more strategic in this, and this is where the self-change project comes into the picture. As I clarified in an earlier video, at any given time I only have a certain amount of capacity for challenge, and what that refers to is simply the idea that I can't put myself under a very large amount of challenge, because it would simply be too overwhelming and it would be end up a disaster. In the same way that I can only carry a certain amount of weight when I'm carrying weights, there's also a certain amount of challenge that I can be under any given circumstances. Because of this fact, it wouldn't really be a good idea to just try everything that I want to change at the same time, because it would simply be very difficult to manage, and I would probably fail in trying to do so, simply because it is too much of a challenge to simply do everything all at once. There's an old saying that really applies to this, and it goes like this: a man who chases two rabbits catches none. And basically what it refers to is if you're focusing on two things at the same time, then you're probably not gonna succeed at any one of those two things. For example, if you were to work on two projects at the same time, you would have to divide your focus and attention between these two projects, and your performance on these two projects are likely to go suffer from this. Therefore, the main idea of a self-change project is that you simply pick one behavior, probably the one that you think would give you the most benefit if you were to change it right now, and you just take that one behavior that you want to change, and you simply put it in the self-change project. And what the self-change project is simply a set amount of time that you just ensure that you change this one behavior, that no matter what happens you will do this new behavior, or you stop doing the old behavior if you're wanting to quit something, but nonetheless you just make sure that no matter what, you use your willpower to just make sure that this one thing happens. No matter what happens, you get it done. For this time being, you don't worry about all the other ambitions that you have. For let's say you have all these other ideas that you also want to change, but during this time you're not going to focus on those. And if you're slipping in those and you're getting maybe somewhat worse in that area, let's say that one behavior is that you really want to single-mindedly focus on a certain aspect of your work, or maybe you're studying for something, and right now you just really have to change your behavior in that area, and you just really want to focus on single-mindedly working on a certain thing that you want to excel at. And you say, like, for this time period I'm just going to focus on changing this specific behavior so that I can single-mindedly focus on this activity. That may be one behavior, and that may be the subject of your self-change project. While on the other hand, you may also have goals in self-change in other areas, like maybe you want to exercise more, or maybe you want to do something with your eating habits, or simply just any other new behavior that you also want to change. But that behavior, that other behavior, that is not the current subject of your self-change project. So even if that behavior worsens a bit for now, that's okay, because that's not the focus. You just make sure that no matter what happens, you focus on doing this new behavior in single-mindedly focusing on the work that you want to do. And let's say you do this for a time period of 30, 40, 60 days. No matter what time period you want to use, I suggest you take a little bit larger time period, like 30 days minimum, or maybe 20 days minimum, but try to make it at least a minimum of 3 weeks, because it takes quite some time for something to become an automated habit, and that's really what you focus on for that time period. Just focusing on making this new behavior an automated habit that you don't think about anymore. Because if you do something for 30, 40, 60 days, and you do it every day consecutively, and you just make sure that no matter what happens you do that thing, then it's going to become an automated habit. It just going to be it's going to become something that you're naturally drawn into. And once you have passed those 60 consecutive days, you're just going to be like, oh, this is, of course, this is part of my life, this is what I do. And when that day 61 rolls around, you're going to have 60 days of success behind you, and it's going to be very easy for that 61th day to just then go do the new behavior without using any conscious willpower at all. And the beauty of really using these types of self-change projects, because after these time periods are over and you've succeeded at them, first of all, you have a sense of success and personal achievement in seeing like, oh, see, I was actually able to change this behavior. I've done it for 60 consecutive days. Oh, awesome. Perhaps I can change some more. And then you can open up your change project and include something else. And for the next time period, you're going to move on to something else. Install a new behavior in your life that's going to become automated, and it's going to become a habit. And the beauty of it is that it really starts stacking on top of each other, because all these behaviors that you've done for a certain amount of time, and you've done them consecutively, and you use willpower to turn it into an automated habit, that after all these time periods, they just keep stacking. And in this way you can just really one behavior at a time create changes in behavior. And the reason that this works is because you're basically setting a context for your mind. You're just simply telling your mind like, hey, this is the focus of my self-change project, this is what I'm focusing on, and this is the behavior that I'm gonna do no matter what for the next 30, 40, 50, 60 consecutive days. And the only thing that I really have to do is just make sure I do this one thing. And this is why this is really effective, because anyone can make himself do just one behavior at a time on any given day. I mean, it's not that hard to just make sure that you do just one new thing. All I have to do is this one thing. Oh, no big deal, I can handle that. And it just sets the context for my mind like, oh, this is the goal, this is the thing that I have to change for this time period, and this is just what I'm gonna do every day for the next 30, 50, whatever your amount of time is that you set for it. And you can play around with this time. Like I stated, I suggest to make it a minimal of 21 days, 3 weeks, because it takes some time to make a behavior automated. It may vary, like some behaviors you may not be doing every day, like maybe you want to work out and you want to work out 3 times a week. Well, you can work out 7 times a week, but in some cases maybe you want to only do that for twice a week, and of course maybe you may want to make that time period a little bit longer in that case. But if you can do something every single day, then 21 or 30 days is usually a good amount of days to stick with. Or if you just want to make sure that it gets automated and installed very firmly, well, you can pick 60 or longer, maybe even 90 days. And what you really want to be doing is just making this self-change project, and the amount of challenge that it's going to introduce into your life is to make it really just equal to the amount of capacity for challenge that you have available. Just simply make an estimation of like how much space or capacity for challenge do I have at this current time. Well, if I have this amount available, will this self-change project be a good fit for that, or is it too much, is it too little? If it's a real simple behavior, maybe you can do 2 self-change projects at the same time. That's certainly possible, although I don't always recommend it, because the more self-change projects you include, the more likely it is that you're going to fail, because you have to divide your attention and your focus and your willpower between these 2 projects. And sooner or later maybe you just don't do these behaviors because it's a little bit too much. So it's better to succeed at one behavior and implement it successfully and do it for 60 days consecutively, rather than do it half-assed for 2 or 3 self-change projects that only get installed half firmly. And yeah, that really isn't what you want to be aiming at. It's better to do one behavior and have it perfectly implemented after the time period is set, than to do more and just end up half-assing the implementation of both of the 2 new behaviors. What you have to understand is that every time you do try to change something, and you're either going to succeed at it or not. And every time you try to change something, you're going to build a reference experience for trying to make a change. And if you try to implement everything at once and you keep failing, you build all these negative reference experiences for trying to make a change, and you start making having these negative associations to making changes to yourself. And this isn't the good thing, because this is really going to program your mind with the idea of like, oh, this self-change isn't really working for me, why am I so bad at this? And the real problem is maybe not so much that you're really bad at this stuff, but simply that you're using the wrong approach, and you're trying to do too much at the same time. You're not taking into account the capacity and space for challenge that you have in your life, and you're just trying to do too much at the same time. Go a little bit easier on yourself. You have all the time in the world. Well, not all the time, but you have plenty of time in the world, hopefully. And just be mellow about it. Start slowing down a bit and just focus on one thing at a time, and start building small successes and build on those. Because the same thing happens in the other direction. Let's say that I do a simple self-change project with one behavior and I succeed at it. I do something new. I do a new behavior for 30 days consecutively, and I have that success. Then I can say, oh, good on me, pat on the back, well done, let's move on to the next one. And I just keep building these reference experiences of success and making a change. And I can also see tangible results, because if I start doing these new behaviors and they start generating positive results and outcomes in my life, I can see the benefits of it over the long term, and then I can get all these positive reference experiences of like, hey, see, this self-change thing, it's no big deal, I can handle it, I can make changes to my life, I can make improvements, I can do new behaviors, and I can just take one behavior at a time. I can just use these self-change projects, and I can really enjoy the benefits of having them stack on top of each other as I do more of them over time. So I guess that sums up the main message for today's video. Just be mellow about this, slow down, don't try to do so much at the same time. Take into account your capacity and space for challenge in your life, and just start small. Do one self-change project at the same time, so you can succeed in consecutively doing this new behavior for a certain amount of time. That's, like I said, 30, 40, 50, 60 days, whatever you want, and succeed at it, build a positive reference experience out of it, and just start stacking them on top of each other until you can bring down your challenge levels, and you can improve the quality of your life by reaping the rewards of the benefits that these new behaviors are going to bring in your life.